Hello there, welcome to another maths class, and today you'll be learning division of numbers. In this class we'll be learning how to divide numbers, especially large numbers. So what is division? Division is sharing, breaking down numbers into smaller bits. So are you ready? Now let's see what the components of division of numbers are. Now if you have, for example, 10 divided by 5, we all know that 10 divided by 5 is equal to 2. It means breaking 10 down into smaller pieces or into smaller groups using a group of 5. Now you need to take note that 10, which is the larger number here, is the dividend, 5 is the divisor, and 2 is the quotient. Now, and that is to tell you that when it comes to division of numbers, the larger number that is to be divided, or the number that is to be divided, is called the dividend, while the number you're dividing by is called the divisor, and the answer, the result of the division, is called the quotient. Let's see the first example. What are the steps in dividing large numbers? Because we'll be using long division in this class. So what are the steps to dividing large numbers? First of all, divide. Divide the dividend by the divisor. The second step is multiply. The third step is subtract. The fourth step is to repeat all the steps from number 1 to number 3. So it comes like this: divide, multiply, subtract. Then you go again, divide, multiply, subtract. And you go again, divide, multiply, subtract, until you get to the last level where you'll be unable to divide again, or where you have decided to stop dividing. Now the first example says 179 divided by 7. Now we're going to divide, multiply, subtract, and we'll repeat the process. Now using long division, get your long division sign ready. Okay, now you write the dividend on the right hand side while you write the divisor on the left hand side. So your dividend will be in the sign, and that is 179. The divisor will be outside on the left hand side, which is 7. Now you'll be writing down your quotient above. You will write your quotient above. Okay, now let's continue. Now 179 divided by 7. We want to divide 179 by 7. The easiest way is for you to use a multiple of 7. We want to skip count. We want to skip counting in 7. Now, on my right hand side, I'm going to show you how to skip count using the divisor. Now you have 7, okay? 7, the next number after 7, skip counting by 7 or jump counting by 7 is 14. Or you also say multiples, that 7 times 1 is 7, times 2 is 14, times 3 is 21, times 4 is 28, times 5 is 35, times 6 is 42, times 7 is 49, times 8 is 56. Let's stop here. Okay, we may need more and we may not need more, so let's stop here. Now let's go ahead to divide 179 divided by 7. The first thing you need to do is look at the first digit. 1. Can we divide 1 by 7? No, because 1 is less than 7. Now let's pick the first 2 digits. Now that's 17, so we can divide 17 by 7 because 17 is greater than 7. Now let's go back to the first digit. 1 divided by 7 is impossible. Let's write down 0. Okay, so once it is 0, you don't need to multiply. Now the next one is 17. Now let's go to our multiples. Let's look for a number that is either 17 or less than 17. Don't choose the one that is higher. Now if you come here, you will see that 14 is closer to 17 and it is less than 17. Don't choose 21 because 21 is higher. So if at 14 we have to count 1, 2, which means 17 divided by 7 is 2 times, okay? Because we will get to 14 before getting to 17, and we can't get exactly to 17 because there will be a remainder, which means there will be a remainder of 3, that is 14, 15, 16, 17. Good. So now you have written the quotient up here, which means 17 divided by 7 is only going to happen twice. That's 1, then 2. So 2 times 7. Now we have divided. The next step is multiply. So 2 times 7. 2 times 7 is 14. Write 14 down under the first dividend. Then subtract. You know, the next step will be subtract. So 17 minus 14 is 3. So now 3 divided by 7 will not be possible. Let's bring down this 9. Bring down this 9. So we have 39 as our dividend. Now let's look right and check if 39 can be divided by 7, and let's know where we can get to. Make sure you pick the number that is less than 39 but not more than 39, and that is 35. So now let's count the number of times we skipped 7. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good, which means 39 divided by 7 is 5. Write your quotient above. Write your quotient above 5. Now 5 times 7. 5 times 7, that is this 5 times 7 is 35. So the next step now is for us to subtract. We have divided, we multiplied, now we are going to subtract. So 39 minus 35 is 4. Do we have any digits to bring down again? No. So 4 divided by 7 is impossible. Add a decimal point. As soon as you add a decimal point, add 0 to 40. Interesting, right? Now 40 divided by 7. Go back to your multiples of 7. Now let's check. Make sure you choose a number that is below 40. So the number below 40 is still 35. So let's count again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which means we're able to skip count 5 times, which means 40 divided by 7 is 5. So write down your quotient up here. Then 5 times 7, which is the next step. 5 times 7 is equal to 35. Then subtract. 40 minus 35 is 5. So we can continue like that on and on and on, but I want us to stop here. So our answer is 025.5. that is 25.5. so the answer is 25.5. so this is how to do long division. It's very easy. When you skip count on your right hand side, just go there and pick the number you need. Now let's see the second example. 675 divided by 8. How do we get that done? Draw your division sign, your long division sign, okay? Then you write the dividend on the right hand side, 675. Write the divisor on the left hand side, which is 8. Then we'll be waiting for our quotient. Our quotient is the result, okay? Now let's continue. So 675 divided by 8. We'll be having a multiple of 8. Let's skip count in 8. We'll be skip counting in 8. So we'll start with 8. The next after 8, skip counting in 8, you have 16. Skip counting in 8, you have 24. Skip counting in 8, you have 32. And then 40. And then 48. Okay. Plus 8, you have 54. That's a mistake. That should be 50. Sorry, that should be 56. When you skip count in 8, you should have 56 here. And after 56, skip count in 8, you have 64. Let's stop here for now. Now, the first digit, 6 divided by 8, that will be impossible because 6 is less than 8. Now, 67 divided by 8. Let's check our skip counting. Now, we have skip counting up to 64. Let's add one more, 8, that's 72. So what number is exactly 67 or less than 67 or close to 67? That is 64. So how many times did we skip count 8? That will give us the number of times 8 can divide 67. So that is 1, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, which means 67 divided by 8 is 8. So that's the first thing we have divided. That's the first step. Now the second step is multiply. 8 times 8. So that will be 8 times 8, which is 64. We have multiplied. The next step now is subtract. Let's subtract. 67 minus 64 is 3. Then bring down 5. So now 35 divided by 8. You move to that side. Look for the number that is closer to 35 but not more than 35. So what do we have? We have 32. So let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 35 divided by 8 is 4. Write your quotient up here. That's 4. Now 4 times 8. 4 times 8 is 32. Now after multiplying, subtract. 35 minus 32 is 3. We do not have any other number to bring down. 3 divided by 8 is impossible. Give this place a decimal point and add 0. Now 30 divided by 8. Let's check. The number below 30 is 24. So that's 1, 2, 3. That's 3 times. 3 is our quotient. Write 3 up here. Then multiply. 3 times 8. That's 24. The next step for you is to subtract, okay? 30 minus 24 is 6. So have your 6 written down, okay? Now we can continue on and on to 2 decimal places, okay? But I want us to stop here today. So that's 84.3. So the answer is 84.3. It is very easy to divide like this. Let's see one more example. Now the next example is, okay, 243 divided by 14. 243 divided by 14. Let's see how it's going to be done. So make sure you draw your division sign, then write the dividend in here and the divisor outside. Take note that the quotient will be up. So 243 divided by 14. Make sure you skip counting 14. So let's skip count. 14 times 1 is 14. 14 times 2 is 28. And the next one will be 42. So what will be the next number? That will be 56. And what will be the next number? That will be 70 and 84. Let's stop here for now. Now 24 divided by 14. Now the first one is 2. Can 2 be divided by 14? No. Let's just have 0 written down. Now 24. Now 24 divided by 14. This 28. So it will be only once. So that's 1. Write down your quotient up, then multiply it by 14. That's the next step, multiplication. 14 times 1 is 14. Then 24 minus 14 is 10. 0, 1. That's 10. Then you bring down 3. That's 103. Now we need to continue till we are closer to 103. So by the time you add 14 to 84, you have 98. Let's add 14 to 98. We have 2. That's 112. Let's add 14. Okay, yes, we are closer. So now which number is closer? Is before 103. That is 98. So now let's count the number of times we skip counted. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Which means 103 divided by 14 is 7. So 7 times 14. 7 times 14 is 98. So 103 minus 98, what will that give us? So this will give us 5. So 103 minus 98 is 5. So now, can 5 be divided by 14? No, we do not have any other number that will bring down. Let's have a decimal point here, then add 0. Now 50 divided by 14. Let's see a number before 50. That's 42. So that will be 1, 2, 3. So you write down 3. So 3 times 14. 3 times 14 is 42. Now 50 minus 42 is 8. We can still continue like this, but I'm going to stop here and the answer is equal to 17.3. Now this is how easy you can do division of large numbers. So make sure you watch this video up to 3 times so you can master this. I'll see you next time.